Hello my friends and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Let's Play Deck Challenge Deck Overviews Part 8 of the series. Now before I begin, I would just like to take a moment to say please like, share, and subscribe, and considering the notification bell for either my regular content, which is the content that you will be enjoying the most by selecting the notification bell and selecting regular the personalized option, or all my content, or if you just enjoy all the content that I have or just really want to help me out by selecting the notification bell and selecting all. Now it's pretty much one the same, like, because pretty much all my content right now is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but that could change in the future. I'm not sure. Maybe I could just be like a Master Duel channel, like, just because like there's so much stuff that like pretty much always comes out. Like, I'm always like thinking of something to do with this game, whether it be like going over a deck that I haven't went over yet, or doing a let's play, which, speaking of which, is a new solo mode gate. But I think what I'm gonna do for that is I'm just gonna wait until after I get through the SP deck challenge deck overview, since there's probably not gonna be another one of that, at least not for a while. So I kind of want to get through those, since I don't want to like go like weeks without doing that. I kind of want to just stay focused at the task at hand, if you can understand that. I don't really have any set schedule, like, which I'm not necessarily sure if that's really a good thing. But like, this is what I just decided I would want to do. Maybe like later on, when like I get like more subscribers and stuff, like I could maybe like try like harder to have a set schedule. But for now, I think I'm pretty much just gonna like try to keep like on the like maybe doing like sticking to one thing until I get done with it, and then like only after that like going back to like one of my older series, like the Let's Play. So that's kind of my thinking behind. Maybe I should just finish off the deck overviews first. Yeah. So, but anyway, for those who are curious, the solo mode gate I'm referring to is the sub-tier solo mode gate. And apparently this was a little bit... Oh wait, no, new gates. It says new gates are coming, but I think this is a little old because it's already there. And then the new season and the additional mission, like, which is like, that's also kind of old news. Like, they're only a few days old, but like I didn't show them off yet. And then issue with the Steam version of the game. And speaking of that, crossplay, I think it actually turn the crossplay off like helps a lot with like lowering the difficulty a bit, because there's a lot of really tough non-PlayStation opponents out there. And since like having the crossplay on isn't really doing much for me, because it's not like I'm getting a ton of like friend requests and whatnot, and I figure like might as well just lower the difficulty of it if I can, because I don't really care. I just want to get done with some of my tasks. Like, I don't care, like, if it's like... Well, I mean, if I have the choice between easy or hard for a game like this, I'd rather choose easier difficulty when it's versus like regular people, because I don't really like facing like live people all that much. I don't really mind hard, I don't think, most of the time, when like it comes to against a computer, because in general, at least I think, like the computer's probably not going to be as difficult as facing a really tough to beat real person out there. Because like there are, even if it's a tough opponent, a tough AI, there's still gonna be exploits you can find, which maybe like generally like you can't really find with non-computers. I mean, I guess that's not always the case, but I think like that can occasionally be the case. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why I don't really like facing against real people all that much, especially like when they're really tough to beat. Like if they're not that hard to beat, then sure, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then I think this is the next one. Remember, it was a Toon Kingdom, so it might be the one after this. Yeah, I think it's the one after this. Yeah, it's the one after this. So this is the 6th one, so I'm getting done with it. I'm about halfway, I think. So yeah, let's get to the loner deck. Maybe I should just be doing two a day, since like basically like now I kind of want to get done with this. Maybe I will just do 2 a day like I've been doing before. And maybe I could try like hurrying it up a bit as well, since like these don't really get a ton of views anyway. So like I can get to maybe like the actual gameplay, which I think more people are interested in the actual gameplay anyway. Yeah, and of course for this, the King of the Swamp did get limited because of the T elements. So if you wanted to try playing this deck yourself for some reason, and in ranked duels, I guess, just keep in mind that you won't be able to use all 3 King of the Swamps. Like, I'm not sure why you would want to play it in ranked duels, because because it's not really that competitive. But I mean, you can't play the exact build anyway. Or like maybe if you wanted to play this deck the way it is against one of the different opponents, you can't just like copy it to your own deck, because once again, King of the Swamp is at 1. So I guess if for whatever reason, like that was one of the things he had in mind, it's a little too late. I mean, you can still use 1 King of the Swamp, but can't use all 3. Anyway, this deck's title is the Three Godspeaker Swordsmen, and the deck description reads: a deck that storms the battlefield with Jack's Knight, Queen's Knight, and King's Knight. Depending on how the duel is going, you can choose to either tribute summon Slifer the Sky Dragon, or special summon Arcana Knight or Joker. Try to keep your hand topped up with plenty of cards throughout the duel. So yeah, just gonna try to be quick with the deck here. First of all, the normal monsters. The Gazelle is there to use in line with the board format to go into Chimera, and the Night normal monsters are there for helping to swarm the field alongside King's Knight. Which makes for a pretty easy way to get 3 monsters, which is exactly what you want. To maybe go into the Egyptian God, or you can also like use all 3 of them to go into Arcana Knight or Joker, or maybe even the fusion. But with the fusion, you should be able to use them while they're still in your hand too, so they don't necessarily need to be on the field. But in case you need to search any out, that is also a good way of searching them out. And then King of the Swamp is there in case you need to fusion substitute for any of your knights to go into them, or it's also a way to be able to go into the Paladin or the Dark Cavalry, I think. Oh yeah, the Paladin or the Dark Cavalry, because In case you need although this can only substitute for a name, so it can act as more copies of Dark Magician, but like if you have the Dark Magician but you don't have a warrior, which is probably not as likely anyway, you won't be able to substitute this for the warrior since it's not a named card. But it does make a good way to substitute for the Busted Blader, which you don't have. So this is how you go into the Busted Blader. And it also searches for the polymerization, which is pretty nice too. Just by discarding it. So it's a pretty easy way to search for polymerization that doesn't even take up any summons or anything. Although you do lose it out of your hand. So meaning you can't really use that as a polymerization target at that point, since this requires monsters from the hand or field, unless you like bring it out with Monster Reborn. Could do that. And then Imperial Boa is a way to help set up your night plays. When you control no monsters, it's a one card way to basically get you into all of your night plays, because you can simply search for the two that you don't yet have. Yeah, you have to special summon them, which unfortunately doesn't really mesh too well with King's Knight, since his ability only works on normal summon. But if you just simply need them in your hand, like, or like want to have special summon them, you can do that. Or like, it is also another way to get out Arcana Knight Joker, because it doesn't necessarily require that they all be the knights. You can use this and plus the 2 you special summon for him. And then Joker's Knight, this is probably the better one, since this one, actually no, not really, it doesn't really search for them. Actually no, it could, I don't know. It does allow you to like, it can recur himself too, which is actually kind of nice. But yeah, in case you're missing like one of the knights, like this can like make its name become that name. So, I mean, it's good for that. And then Dark Magician go. Guess it's there to maybe gain a little bit of boost if you have Dark Magician. Not sure what else it would be there. Yeah. Doesn't really seem that necessary. Slifer the Sky Dragon. That's like, it does really well in line with Thunder Speed Summon, because this will just not only search for the Slifer, but also you can then like normal summon it straight out if you have all 3 monsters on the field, which is nice, because if you already use your normal summon to get the whole night line up, you still can like bring out Slifer in that same turn. And it's even a quick play, so you can even do it during the opponent's turn. And then this one allows you to, it's interruption while you control the Slifer. And I believe them, I guess there's not ways you can search it, so I mean, it's really if you can draw it though, like it's pretty good. And then if you didn't want the Slifer, if you already had it, you can also grab the Arcana Triumph Joker. Also, if you'd rather just use this for the Thunder Speed Summon, you can. But I mean, how nice is it going into Slifer with it? Like, there's not a lot of, you don't get a lot of, like, opportunities to summon Slifer. But yeah, this is also a pretty nice card as well, like, just destroying everything. Yeah, I guess it could be arguably better than Slifer, like, because I mean, maybe if it's your turn and you're wanting to bring one of your level 10s out, this might be the better one. But if it's the opponent's turn, Slifer might be a little bit better, because like the ability to destroy everything isn't a quick effect, but Slifer's ability kind of is. Especially if you maybe like have a lot of cards in your hand, then like maybe Slifer's pretty worth it. Like Geki and Hoppy's Feather Dust are both removal options. I talked about the polymerization. Monster Reborn for getting out your monsters. Also you can get back your materials, so that's good. Pot of Avarice for shuffling back in your monsters. Draw also nets you 2 cards, draw. And you're probably gonna be putting in monsters pretty quickly. Because like, I mean, it's already pretty easy to bring out all 3 knights. So that's already like 3 monsters right there. And then if you use them for a link play and he eventually goes to the graveyard, that's gonna be a 4th. And then at that point, you only need 1 more monster. Also, it's pretty good for shuffling back in your 1-ofs. And maybe extra deck monsters, like, because basically the more extra deck monsters you shuffle back in using this card, like, the more cards you know you're not going to be drawing. So, like, the more likely it's going to make for 2 fresh cards. And then Pot of Extravagance for more draw, and because you're playing so many duplicates, it doesn't matter anyway. Joker's Knight for getting another card that gets your Knights played started. This is better than Impale Bow in my opinion, because it special summons the Queen's Knight and then allows you to add the King's Knight to normal summon it without actually using up your regular normal summon. So this will actually allow you to get his effect. So this helps make for a way to be able to bring all that out without actually taking up your regular normal summon, which is pretty cool. And probably would rather play 3 of this and just remove the Impale Bower completely. I would think like that seems better. Just because like this one, like I mean, it surely requires a discard and this kind of doesn't, but like it's easy to activate. You can actually activate it while you control monsters, as long as you have the space follow that. And I mean, you just have to discard a card, like, which could actually be beneficial if you have cards that get effects off of being discarded. But I think a cost, I'm not sure if it's a cost or not. Maybe it's by effect. So if it's by effect, that could even be better, because like then you can play in Dark Wolves and get their and have a way to get their effects online. And then this is another fusion spell, although it can't be searched with King of the Swamp, but it's still pretty good. Mana Force, more removal. Yeah, this is just more protection. Can keep your monsters away from like being attacked. Joker's Wild. This can this can get out. This can change its effect to any effects of a lot of your spells involving the knights. So like, and you have a lot of good spells, so like this isn't bad, and it also has a graveyard effect to add itself back to hand. So this basically acts as another copy of any of your spells, but it's kind of better since it can basically be whichever spell you don't have. You get to choose. Ultimate Divine Protection allows you to special summon one of your divine beasts. Court of Cards allows you to oh yeah, this is a way to special summon all 3. So that's pretty cool. This is basically like a Call of the Haunted for 3 monsters. I mean, sure, they have to be specific monsters, but you're probably going to be getting them in there pretty quickly, so, and pretty consistently. So, like, you probably don't have to worry about, like, the fact that it's 3 specific monsters. Oh, wait, no, or Jack's Knight. Well, that kind of stinks. I thought it was a specimen for... Well, in that case, it might be better to play a different revival that like can revive like more monsters, but it does have the benefit of being able to potentially draw 3 cards as long as you banish 3 of your knights, which could actually be potentially pretty useful. Like, drawing 3 cards is actually not a bad effect. And like, I don't know how big of a deal banishing the knights are. Like, if you gotta use them for the purpose, like, do you really need to keep them? And then Chimera, and then this is your extra deck. Yeah, see, this is why you're playing the Gazelle package. And then even if it's destroyed, you just get to special summon either one of them back. So at least that gives you one of the materials back. I mean, it doesn't give you both, but I mean, you're generally not putting them on the field anyway. So, like, that's still kind of just a plus. And then Dark Paladin negates spells. Pretty nice, especially since it's not a hard once per turn. As long as you have cards in your hand to discard. Dark Cavalry. This can, I don't know, like, it kind of depends on which one is better. Like, this is nice because it negates any spell, but this is nice because it can negate more than just spells, but they have to be cards or effects that specifically target. But they're both pretty nice in their own way. And then these, actually, I don't really know how good the Arcana X deck stuff are, because they have to specifically negate stuff that targets, and then you have to have the right type of card in your hand. They kind of just seem like worse Dark Cavalries. Because at least Dark Cavalry, you can just discard any card. Like, but these, it has to be the right type of card. So, which you won't always be having. Like, and then this is kind of the same way. Though it has to be targeting either a monster that this points to or itself. So this, I think, is a little bit more situational. But at least this one, like, does, like, special summon on destruction and also searches. So it's not too bad. It gets you 2 cards. I mean, like, and if you're basically just special summon the Queen's Knight after they run out of attacks, and then you add a King's Knight to the hand, then you can, like, guarantee your knight play the following turn. Okay, and then I think I'll just go through the next deck, because I don't want to take too long, and if I just do one a day, like, then it'll take a little bit long. I think it was actually smart that I didn't do that. I mean, sure, it takes longer to, but at least with this, I knock it out a little quicker. This one is called Death Calling Destiny Board. And then the deck description reads: a deck that shoots to win using Destiny Board. Use support cards such as Dark Sanctuary and Sense of Doom to get your Spirit Message cards in order. Prevent your opponent from attacking by using the effect of Dark Spirit of Banishment to switch a target attack to Curse Necrofear. So some of you who remember might realize that, like, this is a little similar to the Destiny Board deck that was featured in that one Duel trial. And yes, like, it is similar, but it does have differences. Like, that Duel trial deck, I don't believe was playing the, was it playing? No, it was playing the Dark Sanctuary, so I guess it is fairly similar. But I know it wasn't playing the Dark Door. Wasn't playing that. I don't know. Yeah, but it's still fairly similar. But one of the main key differences I know is that the X deck, like, wasn't just a bunch of random fusions that I don't think you're actually even supposed to be bringing out. they're more just there for part of extravagance purposes. So I guess that does make it a bit worse than the Duel Trial. At least the Duel Trial deck had like some honestly pretty good X deck monsters in my opinion. Not bad, especially like considering that if you go into a link play with Sangan, you get the search right away. But here, like, you kind of just need to set the Sangan and wait for your opponent to destroy it. And kind of the same thing with the Witch, although the Witch does search for slightly different monsters than the Sangan. Sangan has searches that the Witch can't search, I think. And then Witch has searches that the Sangan can't search. Like, yeah, like, for instance, the Witch can search this card while Sangan can't search it, but Sangan can search these cards while Witch can't. Oh wait, no, Witch can search. I meant to say Witch can search these cards while Sangan can't, but Sangan. Oh, and then Witch can also search this card. So then, what can Sangan search for? Oh, I guess Sangan searches for Witch. I think Witch is really the only target for Sangan. Yeah, so Sangan pretty much searches for the searcher that searches for a lot of the other cards. Okay. So yeah, pretty interesting. Anyway, that does kind of stink that Sangan doesn't really have a lot of searches though. Maybe like adding more Witches would have been better in that case. Since Witch has more searches than Sangan. I don't know. That's what they decided to come up with. But yeah, anyways, Sangan searches and Witch also searches. Witch searches for most of the cards that Sangan doesn't search, and then Sangan just searches for the Witch, which can search you get. Though the ones you really want to get into, although Witch can search Sangan too if you want. Although Sangan doesn't have any. Sagan's really only searches Witch, so it's probably better to just search like the non-Sangan card for with the Witch. Or otherwise you're just gonna be using Sangan to search another Witch, and then pretty much you could have gone to your plays sooner if you would just search for any of these. Which I think the best searchers are going to be the Dark Spirits. Because these do pretty well with your level 8s. Like, getting you a little bit of advantage back when your level 8s are sent to the graveyard while they're in the graveyard. Which doesn't work too well if they're banished. Because they can be banished off of this one. Although, this can potentially get you your banished monsters back into the deck, which again doesn't really work mesh too well since these just want to be in the graveyard. But as long as you like, maybe you're keeping a few of these in your graveyard and you're banishing your less relevant fiends, like Sangan. That's another good reason to have Sangan in here. I wasn't even thinking about that. You can still like be keeping them in the graveyard. And then this is also a fiend, and it's also not a bad fiend either because it also negates effects, although it can be searched by anything. So you're just gonna have to hope you're lucky enough to pick it up if you really want to use the effect. This one can be searched off a Witch though. It gains a little bit of attack when it declares an attack, but I'm not sure how often you'll be really bringing it out. It's probably more. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to like normal summon for it. I guess like if you're finding it a little bit hard to get your Sangan or Witch off the field, you could just like attribute them off for this card. So I guess that's why they have it, in case the opponent is actually destroying them. But I don't think that's gonna be the case very much. Yeah. And then these also have effects when they're destroyed. Oh yeah, which allows you to take control of something on opponent's side of the field. But I think if you do... oh, wait. Which doesn't... Which won't mess up your dark spirits, because they'll still be able to add themselves even if you take this out of the graveyard right away, since they don't actually like special summon those fiends or anything, which is probably for the best, because you probably would rather just use these to take control of monsters anyway. Although they don't have they're not bad well on the field, like they still have decent stats. And then this is just a little bit different, like destroying all cards your opponent controls. And it is a better attack stat too, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this basically, yeah, but like the Dark Necrofear is nice for setting up for the Cursed Necrofear, because you ban stuff and then you can like return them to special summon this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Probably Extravagance doesn't work too well for the Necrofear, since you're banishing them face down. This can't shuffle back in banished cards, even if those banished cards are fiends. That's not how it works, since like it's not really public knowledge. It basically needs to be public knowledge in order for you to be able to utilize this. For that case, like sometimes it doesn't matter, but in that case it does. And then this one searches for either your Destiny board, the level 8 fiend. So yeah, that's brings me to the other way to win with your Destiny board, where basically you're just waiting a few turns to get the final message. And I think positioning does matter for this. Like, if you mess up positioning, you might not be able to win off of this anymore. And then Sense of Doom is basically a way for you to, like, hurry up that win condition a little bit by allowing you to, like, place an extra one. Like, although this really only works once, so this is really only good, like, if you're just, like one letter away. And then you basically wait until that happens, and then you banish it then. Although if you have more than one, you could just like basically like do that a few times, just not on the same turn. And then Dark Sanctuary is basically a way to make it so that they aren't just hogging up your spell and trap zone, which does help out the Destiny board a little bit, since like the reason why it was so bad back in the day was because it was hogging up your spell and trap zone, and you couldn't really use like a lot of other spells and traps, because like for risk of like them like hogging it up too much, especially if they were like continuous spells and traps, because like if this was your win condition, you wouldn't want like those continuous spells or traps getting in the way of it. But like this helps a little bit by allowing them to act as monsters while still allowing them to eventually count towards that win condition. And then multiple destruction destroys basically for resetting hands. If you it's kind of like one of those mulligan cards, just like in case you need if you didn't see any of the Destiny board cards, or you want to shuffle some of the Destiny board cards back in, you can like do that, which is pretty nice. You lose a little bit of life points, but that's okay, because like the Destiny board, this allows you to place cards from your hand or deck, but this only allows you to place them. Oh wait, no, this is from the hand, deck, or graveyard. So that works. I don't know, like I guess you don't really need to be shuffling them back, but still you might as well shuffle them back, because like they're kind of just dead cards in the hand, since they can only be placed by either Destiny board or Sense of Doom. And also Sense of Doom is nice for the other effect that allows you to add fiend monsters that are banished in your graveyard. Like potentially quite a bit if you have a lot of these destiny cards on the field. So basically, the closer you are to winning, the more advantage you can get from Sense of Doom. So not only, so like this actually, so this actually makes for another reason to play the Destiny board cards on top of like, maybe you could win off of them, which is pretty nice. Which actually makes the deck still not really competitive, but definitely a lot better than it was. And then Dark Door is to help stall out the opponent just a little bit more. Also, it makes it a little bit more annoying for your opponent when you have both Dark Sanctuary and Dark Door, because then they basically need to count on their first attack succeeding. because even if that attack is negated, I'm pretty sure that Dark Door doesn't care. Like no other monsters, like even if it's negated, like Dark Door will still make it so that they could have only attacked with that one monster, even if it was negated, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit more likely for this to succeed. Also, it's pretty nice that it keeps them from being able to destroy these cards, like, which is like another reason why like you shouldn't really care that much if you spec some of these as monsters, because your opponent won't be able to attack them anyway. So they'll be pretty much perfectly safe as long as the field spell is on the field. Once the field spell goes away, though, they can like attack into spear messages. Anyway, that was pretty much the 2 decks. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you like me going over 2 decks more just to get through this quicker. I think this is how I will be doing it, just because I want to go a little bit quicker. And like I was trying the 1 deck, but like I don't know, I just don't like how long it's taking. And with like Konami like consistently releasing 1 solo mode game a month, I just don't want to fall too far behind of like my other of the other things I do within this game, like especially on top of the fact that I also have the festival to deal with as well. But anyway, thank you for all of those who stayed for either one or both of the deck overviews. And I'll be leaving the gratitude notes in the description, as well as the verse, and I'll also leave the verse discussion in a pinned comment. And once again, please like, share, and subscribe, and considering that notification bell for whatever kind of content you want to be notified of, either personalized or all my content. Okay, bye everyone.